Smarterfan.
Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Smarterfan podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe, and this is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
I'm doing well. How you feeling, Joe?
I'm
Lots
feeling
going
fine.
on.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah, lots going on, my friend. I can smell the soup cooking. What you got for us tonight?
Okay, so again, in the spirit of the NCAA tournament, I'm going to talk about Jim Valvano.
NC State.
Now, he started his career at Johns Hopkins, and then in 1980, he took over at NC State. And they won an ACC tournament in '83 as well as the NCAA championship. And he was voted ACC Coach of the Year in '89. Now, in '89, also there were accusations of rules violations concerning Chris Washburn and his poor SAT scores. There was a big investigation, and then his coach, Valvano, and his staff, they were cleared of any violations, but they did find out that the players were selling sneakers and tickets. So the program got put on probation for 2 years.
Yeah.
And Valvano resigned after that, So then he after coaching, he went on to a broadcasting career, with the ESPN Sports, and he got an ACE award for NCAA broadcasting along with that. Mm-hmm. And then he was, he was going around the country giving motivational speeches. And, in '92, he was diagnosed with cancer. And, so then in '93, he gave that legendary Don't Give Up speech at the ESPY Awards at Madison Square Garden. And that's where he announced that he created the V Foundation for Cancer Research, and he was also given the honor of throwing out the first pitch on opening day at Yankee Stadium, but he was too sick to do it. So his friend Dean Smith threw out the first pitch in his honor at Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
It was a great gesture. And, after he died like less than 2 months after making that famous speech, so, but, somewhere he's got to be looking down and smiling at, the effort that his NC State team did,
Yeah. It was definitely a Cinderella ride. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then his NCAA record with NC State was 209 and 114. Yeah, so pretty impressive. And his overall record was 346 and 210. So what's going on with the women's college women's basketball?
Man, this women's college basketball got me so excited. LSU, then in Iowa, and the Gamecocks. I think I pulled a hamstring getting so excited over this women's college basketball. They're all in my wallet. I'm ordering sweatshirts. I'm rooting. I'm tooting. I'm everything. Man, I'm watching reruns of the game. I don't even watch reruns of the NBA.
Hey.
I don't even really care about the men's game. The women have been so exciting.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Man, I'm going to say it again. I said it last year. Whoever figured out this mix of college women's basketball, they need to hire that whole group and bring them over to the WNBA and continue the excitement. But I want to say something that was very, very insightful. I was listening to Gil Arenas because I I thought Angel had one more year, and she does. But I guess,
Mm.
Gil brought out an interesting point about her game, that
Mm-hmm.
she should come back, which is really true when I evaluated her game as well, to develop more offensive tools before coming to the WNBA. So as
Mm.
giving up her eligibility year, she should come back
Mm.
and really work through the season to improve. She's a top 5 pick, but if she
Mm.
improves her outside, inside game and other things, she may be a top 3 pick, right? And
Mm.
it's not a money issue for her, right? For her to come back. So I thought that was a very, very, very insightful analysis by Gil.
Mm-hmm.
Very insightful. But the game, my goodness, the women's college basketball. I just before I got on here, guess what I was watching?
Mm.
Highlights of UConn and Bucher and Oriyama, the coach, and I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm sold out, bro. I'm more
Yeah.
sold out to the women's game than the men's game.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I'm
I'm
sold
telling
out.
you.
It's exciting. It is entertaining. Oh my goodness, the Cardoza story, the big girl, 6'7",
Mm.
came
Oh
here from
man.
Brazil, 15 years old, nobody here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I said, all
Yeah.
right, I forgive you for knocking down Floje, but don't do it again. But because Floje, she is the Earl Monroe, Earl the Pearl Monroe of ladies basketball. That girl
Mm.
got moves. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
She got anyway. The women's game. I love it. It's
Oh.
exciting. I'm rooting for it. I heard somebody say this. Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
The person said the WNBA should really look at moving teams around to where these colleges have such a following of,
Mm.
female basketball, women's
Mm.
basketball, as opposed to having in these whatever cities. They
Yeah.
said no, you because there's an existing fan base that loves women's basketball. I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, why sit in a city that don't really feel it like that, when you can move these teams to cities that love women's basketball? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Well, that
It
was
ma-
the ABA strategy when they started the league. They went into the South to
yeah,
where all the colleges were, and that's where they put the teams.
that's where they put the teams. So I said that's very insightful. I said that would make a lot of sense because I mean, you see some of these WNBA games, you wonder if anybody's even in the stadium. But you see
Mm.
the college women's basketball, it's
Mm-hmm.
packed out, bruh.
Yep.
Packed out.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, man, that would make a lot of sense.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on that, and so because this was the first time in Final Four history
Hmm,
that um, two schools had both the men's and the women's teams in the Final Four. Now,
really?
unfortunately, NC State came up short.
Hmm,
Uh, but and Iowa UConn, that was one for the ages. Albeit it was the ending was debatable, as some would say. But nonetheless, it set up the showdown with them in South Carolina. And man, was that a barn burner. I see what you're saying, man. I watched that game and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
yeah,
just totally entertaining. I mean, no flopping, no
no,
crying to the refs.
no,
It was just back and forth, you know. And the South Carolina, they had a great bench. That's what helped them. Plus, they had big girl in the middle, blocking shots.
yeah. That she's a load, man. I mean, Coach Staley has really done something on many many levels. I mean,
Mm,
she and a number of a very established coaches, black female coaches, did a thing about um, being women of color, coaching
mm,
the opportunities, the lack of opportunities. And what she's doing in South Carolina, I mean, back to back to back. I mean, Coach Staley, man, I mean, Philly girl, and she's one for the ages, man. She's one. I always had a little crush on her from high school because we all the same age. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And she can
Definitely.
ball, but she's just class. She's really class, and I love what she said. Now think how crazy this is. They go 38-0. The prior year, they come up short with all their seniors. So she's got a new recruiting class, and they go 38-0 and win the chip.
Yeah.
She said, I didn't know, I was going to be babysitting and basically running a daycare with all these freshmen. But those freshmen had ice in their veins.
Yes, they did.
Ice.
Yes, they did.
Because I was like,
off
what?
The bench and killing it.
Man, my brother was saying, can they sustain this? I said, first quarter they hot, second quarter they hot, both sides. Third quarter they hot. I said, this is going to go down to the wire. It's going to be who can endure the pressure. And then I started seeing Iowa miss shots that they normally make. And they weren't able to get the second shot in the third and fourth quarter. And I said, well, let's see if South Carolina is going to be able to weather the storm. Not only did they weathered the storm, and they kept coming. Them girls got some gas. Them girls got some extra gas tanks. You hear me?
Yes, they do.
Because that was one for the ages. And you know what I didn't like? I have to say this. I didn't like how people were trying to make excuses for Caitlin. Like they were kind of soft showing, well, she's had such a great career, and if she doesn't win the national championship, then she's still. And I was like, don't rob the young lady. Allow her to be a champion. She's out there to play to win, as they all are. Don't because you're weak. Don't put that on her. She's out there to win, and if she wins, she wins, and she's a champion. And I hate. There's people like that who really ruin the sport, who cheat, who slant things, who look for advantages that are not part of the game, and make these lame excuses. That's just terrible. It just ruins the game. It ruins the hard work these girls are these athletes are sacrificing, the time, the energy, the injuries, the pressure, playing in multiple cities, different food, different bed every 2 days. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. And then to cheapen it, like, oh, it's okay if she doesn't win. No, that's not what athletes do. And I just hate people who try to soften the blow. And it's just like, don't do that. You're robbing her of all the work and sacrifice those girls have put in to get where they get to come back. You know how hard it is to come back?
Yeah.
You talk about a target on your back. You know how hard that is? Anyway, on to the NFL, my friend.
Yes. Unfortunately, we had a tragedy. Vontae Davis, he passed away.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, he was found in his Florida home by his house assistant, and they don't suspect any foul play, but it's going to be some time before they can find out the cause of death, and he was playing for the Bills, and he was the one who decided at halftime in the Bills game that he was going to retire. In 2018.
Hey, let me tell you something. Sometimes it's like that, brother. He said, listen, I came up and made a couple tackles and realized this is a young man's game. You got to know your time. People were laughing, and, but if you don't know what athletes go through, in the many things that they go through and your body, and when your body just says, I've had enough, your body is enough. And then if you don't listen, you could really get hurt. So I was like,
he said that he wanted to walk away from the game with his health, and that's what he did. Wow. So, but this here, I'm just gonna call it a case of dumbassery. Okay, Rashee Rice, Now,
Oh, I knew you couldn't resist. I knew you couldn't resist. I knew it.
I
I
mean,
knew it.
he's driving a Lamborghini SUV and racing a guy in a Corvette down a Dallas highway, causes a 6-car crash, and then they fled the scene. Luckily there were just minor injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Both cars were in his name. He finally admitted to driving the SUV, but
Mm-hmm.
they have yet to identify the other driver.
Oh, he'll get
You
there.
know,
It's all on camera.
so charges are going to be pending, they say,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's cooperating with the police and everything, but the lawsuits are going to start coming. That. You know, so it's a shame that guys are still doing stupid crap like this. And I have no sympathy for him. Because it's just plain dumb.
Can
But
I interject?
sure.
I agree with you, but I think it's reflective of a bigger problem.
Hmm.
And this is what I mean. As an athlete, you live such a structured life, largely away from the general population. The higher you go, right? Which is good and bad. But there really needs to be a socialization process to help athletes understand outside the confines of the facility. It may sound strange, but as one who's played in high school, played in college, everyone's socialized a different way. You know what I mean? And their exposure is different, and you know, and so you know,
Yeah, but they were putting lives at risk.
no, I'm not making excuses. Please do not hear me. It's everything you said.
No,
It
I'm
was.
just
It was.
saying. I'm just saying. You know.
No, it's bonehead. I mean, he could have ended his career, ended his life, ended some
Yeah.
other people's lives.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I just how I feel about history. I just don't get it. Where these guys can't learn from those before them.
Mm.
I don't get
Yeah.
it. I mean, you just won a Super Bowl. You're out here drag racing in a Lamborghini, and you could die. You could end your career. Just ask Jay Williams, who was riding a motorcycle, got in a motorcycle accident. His NBA career was cut short. 2-time player of the year.
Yeah. Speaking of Super Bowls,
Yes,
Carson
sir.
Wentz has found a new home.
Where?
He's gonna back up Mahomes in Kansas City.
Stop it.
I'm telling you. He signed a
What?
1-year deal. Yeah. And the
Man,
consensus is
I don't know. They love that guy, man. He always gets a job somehow, some way.
well, the consensus is that maybe Andy Reid could work with him and kind of fix him.
Interesting.
you know. But yeah, this is his 5th team,
Mm-hmm.
From the Eagles, the Colts, the Commanders, the Rams, So
Mm-hmm.
he's made the rounds, but he's found another home.
Yeah.
And on another note, Stefan Diggs was traded to the Texans.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, so
I'm happy for him. People say, "Oh, he's such a diva." He wants to win. He wants to win, and they haven't been able to figure out how to win. And I think that
well, he might put them over the top.
I think he will, because you one thing you can't say, he come to play.
Mm-hmm.
He come to play,
Mm-hmm.
and the head coach is young enough to speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
He's young enough, and he's got the pieces, and so
So what's Coach Prime talking about now?
Coach Prime got the Coach Prime got the coveralls on in practice. He letting them know everybody is accountable. He put on the iPro camera, chest camera. So he's got footage of talking to the players, talking to the coaches. Ain't nobody getting away with nothing. You hear me? Oh man, I'm looking at the coaches, and you could tell they have taken it up a notch or two or three. There is clear accountability. Coach Byron, film don't lie. Film don't lie. It don't lie. Oh man, it is hilarious to watch. So he out there, he looked like, you know how the Masters caddies got that overall thing on. He got one of them on, and it said Prime, and he got it in different colors. Oh, he is giving them the. But he always coaches. But you talk about accountability. See, I'll say this to you because you'll understand where I'm coming from. Remember how George Steinbrenner used to do it? He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come get you, and I'm gonna give you the money, but I want my World Series."
Yeah.
That's the deal. And if I see you not doing what you need to do, we're gonna have some problems. We're gonna have some problems because I'm not gonna pay you what you asked. The deal was I'm gonna give you the money, but I need my World Series. That's how this gonna go. This is how this gonna go. And Prime is doing the same thing with these young people. Hey, you here? This is the expectation. This is what you need to do. And if you're not gonna do this, this may not be the place for you. Because see, people were saying, wow, he got all these NFL coaches and former players and whatever. What he's doing is setting the standard. You want to play in the NFL? You want to come to Colorado. Because it's all here. And it's we're going to find out, do you really want to play in the NFL? We're going to find out now. Because the people are here. The NFL don't visit. They're here. You see what I'm saying?
Now, is he utilizing the portal?
He's utilizing the portal. Oh, yeah. And listen, I've been watching the practices and everything. And he's got you can tell the players are better, more competitive, bigger. They're gonna be punching some people in the mouth. Oh, they're gonna be punching some people in the mouth. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing like when Alabama went on its role of dominance. You know, a lot of people wanted to play for Saban at Alabama, but you had to be a certain kind of player. Yeah. You could be 5-star, but that didn't mean you was a Saban player. That's different. You know what I mean? It's different. Yeah. And so Prime is pretty much doing the same thing. I'm gonna have the NFL here coaching you, training you, everything, and we're gonna get our type of player here. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
it's exciting.
We'll have
times.
to see. Yeah, we'll see.
I know everybody's like, "Oh, Barry, they were 4-8." I said they may be 8-4.
Before it's all said and done.
Before it's said and done. I put it like this: if he continues to get the players that he's looking for, he could win a national championship. He could.
And we'll tell.
Yeah. And people say it's not a bit grandiose. I said no. The blueprint is Saban.
Well, that's where we'll have to stop.
All right, good buddy. All right. Well, listen, you know what we say at Smarterfan Podcast. Stay in the game and see you next week, buddy.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
All right.
Smarterfan. Smarterfan. Yeah.